Darkest Dungeons 2. It's kind of hard. Hello, my name is Definitely Not a Box, and welcome to Indie Box, where we tackle indie games. Today's episode, Darkest Dungeon 2. Man, oh my god, this game is abusing me. Ah, my god. Let me be real with you, sometimes I do not have the patience for some of these people. So I play Darkest Dungeon 1 quite a bit, just a little, not too much, you know? It was the same old song and dance. Saw it on sale, remember the hype, buy it, forget about it, open it up one late night, and then
ruin has come to our family.
And it was a pretty enjoyable time. It got wild there at the end. So what about Darkest Dungeon 2? Well, this game is a bit hard, but it's better, I think. And okay, sometimes I need to step away from the game. Just a few times, because I swear to God, I am babysitting a bunch of criminals. Oh my god, just work together, just work together. You know those co-workers that could just get the job done, but they always have something to say to each other, so they're always fighting and nothing gets done? That is this game. Disclaimer, I haven't beaten the game yet. I'm close. It's been abusing me a bit. That last boss, oh my god. I had 170 hit points left, and they just wouldn't stop arguing with each other. Oh my god. The setup was so... Oh my god, I hate it. Also, this Eldritch bag of dicks, it just keeps showing up 3 times in a row and ending my run. Why? This thing needs to be nerfed. Okay, enough of the rant, enough of the intro. Let's talk about it. Darkest Dungeon 2 is a turn-based RPG roguelike, where everything that could go wrong will go wrong. In the first game, if someone was having a bad day, they can get themselves killed. Okay, fine, whatever, sure. That's not too bad. In the second game, if someone's having a bad day, they blame each other, they all lose their minds, and they get everybody killed. More on this later. Unlike the first game, Darkest Dungeon 2 is a true roguelike. Let me explain. It is true that in Darkest Dungeon 1, you had random layouts and random events. But with enough knowledge and systems mastery over the game, you will never suffer a loss. Don't get me wrong, Darkest Dungeon 1 was a hard game, and it still is to some people. But the game prepares you very well and with a lot for the road ahead. In Darkest Dungeon 1, you had the town. Once fully upgraded, it was a wonderful aid, and it gave you a lot. Someone has a couple negative traits, well, they're going to therapy. That man right there is sick, the nurse station immediately. Someone died at level 3, okay, that's pretty bad, it's devastating, but the carriage. You have people at level 2 waiting to be sent out. There is a lot that goes in the game that made it a lot easier to play the game. In Darkest Dungeon 2, you don't really get any of that. What you start with and what you find along the way is all you get. All you will ever get. Darkest Dungeon 2 will kill you. You will die. Or you will just rage quit and walk away for a few hours. I'm addicted to this game. Depending on who you ask, some people do not like the approach Darkest Dungeon 2 has, where you just sends you off to a run and you wish for the best, you unlock some few stuff, and then you start all over again. People do like that no BS, straight to the point that Darkest Dungeon 2 has. If you die, get up, pick your party, and get back on the road. There is an argument to be had about losing the town aspect, or the sin manager as I called it, in Darkest Dungeon 1. It pretty much became its own metagame when you're trying to juggle 17 different people and trying to give them positive trait, the best equipment, level them up, level their skills. A lot of things were going into that, which is something that's not in Darkest Dungeon 2. So I see the disconnect. More on this later, but let's talk about the presentation. This game looks great. It really does. I was scared. I didn't think the 3D would work in Darkest Dungeon style. But I'm happy to say that I was completely wrong, and the development team and Red Hook should make a class on how they transfer their 2D style into the 3D realm and sell it. I swear to God, this is good. They can make me some money, and I bet you will make a lot more indie games better, because what they did here was phenomenal. The animations, the way it's flowing, the action, just everything works in this package. Then you add the music and the voice. Oh my God. This man, I'm gonna look up his name right now because I love it. Wayne June, that's his name, Wayne June. I'm gonna be real with you guys. He's as good as Morgan Freeman in my eyes. Just his one-liners, the script, everything, the presentation of this game is phenomenal, and he just adds a layer on top of that. It's beautiful. I'm just gonna let you guys experience it for a moment.
Born into money and married into more, she spent her days on horseback and her evenings in the ballroom. She was the object of her husband's boorish lust and drunken temper.
The flame grows stronger. Push on to the inn. Rest and resupply await you. Do not despair. There is nobility in the attempt.
Two facets of the same stone, never one without the other.
So what changed in Darkest Dungeon 2? Well, like I mentioned before, the town is gone to the madness. Like ruin has taken it. Now it's just you, a horse, and whoever you decide to bring along for the ride. You have to go to a dungeon, which is more like a road trip, and a Slay the Spire type map. You know, you just pick a left and right and go down the path. And eventually you'll get to, well, the boss. Or you'll die along the way. One of the biggest changes, which I think is amazing in this game, is that now you only get a certain amount of mastery points for your skills, for your hero's skills. Hear me out. I had to sit there and agonize between mental health and my physical health. My party needs both, and I can only pick one. You'd think the choice would be simple. If I don't have any more life, I die. But that's not the case in this game. If I lose my mind, I die. This is insanely good. I hate that I have to pick. Like, this mirrors like the real world healthcare system to the letter. Like, it sucks, but it works really well in this game. I sat there for like about 5 minutes trying to articulate which would be better, because it was that much of a decision. And this game will make you choose all the time between additional damage, additional bleed, blight, heal, stun chance, anything like that. This game will make you choose. You cannot have it all. Unlike the first game, where if you completely upgrade the town and you have the cash, well, learn it all. Upgrade your skills to the max and then go back to the dungeon. This game says there's a caveat to every choice. You cannot have it all. Until late game when you have gods. Same thing goes with your items and anything you find along the way. You're gonna have to manage your inventory. You're gonna have to let some things go, not pick up anything, or just decide to miss it because you didn't check your bag enough. When you're playing the game and you're running around on your horse, you will find some item along the way. You should always have at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 open slots so you can just gain stuff over time. If not, you're missing out on quite a bit. So how do you make any actual progress in this game? Well, there's two types. First, your account level. The higher it is, the more you unlock. Very simple, very basic. Play the game, the more you play, the higher it goes. Secondly, this is where choice actually matters, is you can have your own upgrade paths, but at the end of the day, you're going to want to upgrade everything you can. You have candles of hope. You gain them different types of ways. Heroes have specific missions and goals that they want to achieve. You achieve those, you get them. You also get them while playing the game. Now, when you start the game, I will beg you to just hear me out here. In the early game, when you're playing this for like the first 5 or 6, 7 hours, focus on nothing but candles for the most part in your journey. Learn to quit when you're ahead. If you have 20 candles, which would be amazing, or 14, even 10, whatever, quit while you're ahead. Bank those candles and go upgrade. Nothing hurts than to seeing you have 20 something candles and then it goes to like 7, maybe even 5 because you got wiped at the end of the dungeon. For comparison, I'm going to use Hades. When you first start the game, you want to focus heavily into acquiring as much darkness as you can for the Mirror of Nyx, the Mirror of Darkness. But after you play the game and you have unlocked more and more upgrades, you get better at the game, so it becomes a secondary objective. The same thing goes here with the Candles of Hope. When you have enough of them to just continually play the game and get better of it, because it's no longer dogging you one-sidedly, that's when you can focus on making it through, getting good combination, than just playing the game. But for the first few hours, I beg you, please focus on getting as much candles as you can. It'll make your life a lot easier. Now, if you get lucky and just win your first round, that's amazing. That's amazing. I don't know how if that's even likely. I'm sure somebody will do it online, but I ain't the guy. Now I'm going to talk about the best addition to this game. The best addition to Darkest Dungeon 2, which will be combat items. Yes, every single person on your team can equip a random item that you find on your voyage. This ranges from a small heal, a cure, band-aids, blind, debuffs, buffs, stuff like that. Now, personally, I've rarely got the one that stuns enemies, but if you do, that's amazing. Combat items are amazing for two reasons. First, you have more to do. More options never hurt anybody. The second reason, which this is awesome and I love it, is because with the right combat items, you do not have to really agonize on where you put your mastery points. Hypothetically, if everybody in my party can heal even just a little bit, that means I can put more in stress healing. Just saying. Never really happened for me, but it's a possibility. Mega tip here about combat items is that they don't eat up your turn. So you basically have double actions when the combat items are available. Secondly, combat items are counters to tokens. All tokens. It's amazing. Use them and abuse them. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a token is a guaranteed action that will happen next turn. So if I'm going to dodge whatever comes my way, combat item will deal with that. And then you can just still have your turn, since combat items don't eat your actual turn. It's amazing. Abuse it. On our path to the Darkest Dungeon, we have events. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And figure them out on your own. That's part of the fun of the game. But I'm going to be real with you guys. Really real with you guys. This bag of Eldritch Dicks keeps showing up. I am literally 2 for 3 here. It is winning. I need help. Scratch that. I was just playing another one. And it is 2 for 4. It is winning. What the hell? Oh my god. I'm sorry. Back to the video. As you've been seeing in the gameplay I've been showing, we have about 5 regions. They say 6 because the mountain counts, but that's just one fight at maximum, and then a boss fight. It's too short to be considered a region. That being said, this place has the coolest aesthetic. I can't see what else they add with DLC. Like, I'm at least hoping for 2 more regions, if at all possible, with characters of course, because I'm just saying, they should take some cues from the mods, because some of those characters are amazing and deserve to be in this game. Just saying, not the, crazy, not the anime waifus. No, I'm just saying some of these other ones. Like, my favorite mod is the Fool, but I don't think she should be in this game. That being said, if this game does ever open up with mods, I hope this is one of the first ones that comes out. Also, I need Guts. I need Guts again. I need him back.
resentment.
Alright, fine. I'm gonna talk about it. Every single person you take on your voyage to save the world is a prick. Like, oh my god, people, get over yourself. Why are you fighting each other? In Darkest Dungeon 1, when someone had a panic attack, people just pretend to look the other way and they deal with it or they die. And here, no one shuts the hell up. People are giving each other the side eye, picking fights in the middle of a fight, and it costs you everything. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. It's like if you ever babysit a bunch of middle schools. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you ever did that in your life. As soon as one person opens up their mouth, you can say goodbye to your run. I've never seen a chain meltdown in my life, but this game has made me fear that I will ever be a part of that situation. Now I am complaining about this, and I do hate it, but it's good because it makes the game that much better. I know it's weird. I have gripes with this system because it costs me a couple good runs, but damn it, is it just not on brand? This has to be perfectly on brand. That being said, invest in the Chester. He'll keep everybody as happily as he can. He tries, he really does. Also, personally, just saying, my team is a Chester, right? Anybody else, if you ever need anybody else, right? The third or fourth spot is whoever you want. And then the top two are the G's. God, Chad, Leper, and my king, the man of arms. Oh my god, they're great. Those three people, I love them. Now the discourse around this game has been mixed to a certain extent. Everybody does love it, but they do hate that some things were lost in translation between 1 and 2, or Darkest Dungeon 1 and 2. Mainly being that you don't feel like these are your characters anymore. And that's the point of the game. It took me a while to understand why I didn't care that my play doctor kept dying. I'm just like, okay, move on to the next one. That's because this ain't a campaign, right? Darkest Dungeon 1 was a campaign where you build up an army and you throw them at the woodchipper that is the Darkest Dungeon. You got attached to these characters. You memorize their names, you memorize their colors, you memorize where they like to spend their nights, the brothel, or even gambling. You built up a huge assortment of items over time, right? That's a campaign. That's Darkest Dungeon 1. Darkest Dungeon 2, that ain't the case. You go in for the run. You unlock as much as you can, and then you go back and do it again. You're not attached to these characters the same way because you're not going to spend 5 hours raising one character to go to the Darkest Dungeon. And that's the difference between Darkest Dungeon 1 and 2. I'm going to end the video off with this. Darkest Dungeon 2 does not replace Darkest Dungeon 1. It can never, because they're two different experiences when it comes to, well, this type of game, the stress management RPG. Darkest Dungeon feels like a daycare where you raise characters to be able to handle the eldritch horrors, even if they're just dumb. In Darkest Dungeon 2, it feels like you're babysitting a bunch of people that hate each other and slowly learn to get along, but they still very much hate each other. Darkest Dungeon 2 is good, do not get me wrong, but that added complexity of the party members literally raging and flaming each other, I can see that turning down some people because they don't need that. They don't need that extra level of stress in their life. I had to step away and put the game down for a few hours just because how salty I feel. Like, this frustration is so real. I don't understand how this game, or the developers in Red Hook made it and thought about this, but it's just a little too real for me. So I step away, I come back, and it's still fun as all hell. If I had to rate this game, I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. Hopefully mobs come in sooner, and I'll be keeping an eye out for the DLC. This has been Definitely Not a Box. I love this game. It's pretty good. It's enjoyable. And I beg you, if you see it on sale, pick it up. It's a good time. Well, it's a frustrating time, but it's good. I'll catch you on the next one, and have a good one, guys.